Okay, you guys. So either you tried these and you're checking your answer now, making sure that each of the steps are there, or you're not quite sure how to do it and you need a couple more examples. So we're going to do speed practice number 2. How long will it take a person to run a marathon? 26 point, if let's change this to 2, it's actually 2 miles. If they average 6.5 miles per hour. So my first step, I'm going to analyze. I've read it and now I'm looking for the question. Oftentimes the question is either at the beginning or the end. So I see the word how, that's a question word. So this one says, how long will it take? Which I know is a time. Some people will read this really quickly. They'll see the how long and they'll think distance. We need to make sure that we read the whole thing. So if I ask you how long will it take, you're going to tell me a time as your response. Okay? So I'm going to write my equation. Time equals, now remember I've got my triangle here. So I'm going to cover up what I'm trying to find and I'm left with distance divided by speed. Second step, I'm going to define my variables. D equals, S equals. I've got 2 things in my equation or in my question. So 26.2 miles. I know miles measures how far, which is a distance. So that is my distance. And then what I'm left with, 6.5 miles per hour, that's a distance over a time, which we know is a speed. So that's my speed. Okay, I've done the hard work. I'm putting in my values now. Instead of D, I'm going to write 26.2 miles. And instead of speed, I'm going to write 6.5 miles per hour. Okay, I'm going to do my math. And I end up with 4.030 ... a bunch of other stuff. So I am going to round to 2. So I'm going to count in 2. And then I'm going to look at the number after. It's a 0. So if it's 0 to 5, I keep it the same. If it's 5 or above or 6 or above, I round up. So my answer is going to be 4.03. And now I need units. So I'm going to look at miles here. And since there's miles on the bottom as well, those 2 can cancel. And I'm left with just hours. We're looking for a time in this problem. Does it make sense that time would be in hours? And I would say yes. It takes a long time to run a marathon. So 4.03 hours seems like a really realistic answer for me. Always check to make sure after you do it, does that answer make sense? Okay, you guys, let's try one more. Checking your answer or walking through with me. And then you're going to try some on your own. How far can I drive in 180 seconds if I'm going 20.8 meters per second? Analyze the problem, okay? What is it asking? I see a question word, how. How far is going to be a distance? So I'm going to write my equation. Distance equals, I'm going to use my triangle, cover up what I'm trying to find, and I'm left with S and T next to each other, which is like multiplying them. So D equals S times T, and I'm going to define my variables. I have 2 more numbers, or 2 numbers in my problem. I have 180 seconds. That's going to be my time, because seconds measures time. And my speed is going to be 20.8 meters per second. Speed always has 2 units, a distance over a time. You guys, we're getting good at this. That was the hard part. Now we're going to plug it in. When I write my units, I'm going to put my M on top and my seconds on the bottom. Because remember, I can cancel if something's top and bottom. Okay, now I'm going to multiply it by 180 seconds. And I have seconds on the top, seconds on the bottom, and I'm left with meters. Let's see, I can't do this one in my head, so I'm going to jump on my calculator. 20.8 times 180, I get 3,744 meters. I'm looking for a distance, and meters is a measurement of distance, so I've done this one correctly. You guys are ready to try some problems on your own.